From Olivia Rodrigo to Selena Gomez, stars don't always get their words perfect during interviews. Luckily, these 5 celebs had the chance to set the record straight. Let's get into it. Back in August, Olivia Rodrigo was interviewed by SNL's Bowen Yang for V Magazine. Bowen asked Olivia, who happens to be American and Filipina, about her experience as an Asian artist. Olivia answered, quote, "I sometimes get DMs from little girls being like, I've never seen someone who looked like me in your position, and I'm literally going to cry, like just thinking about it. I feel like I grew up never seeing that. Also, it was always like, pop star? That's a white girl." This wasn't the first time Olivia had commented on her identity, but the phrasing got picked up by outlets like Page Six, and the criticism started to pile on. Basically, people felt like Olivia, who grew up in the late 2000s and early 2010s when Rihanna and Beyonce were just a couple of the non-white stars who were on top of the pop charts, and some people felt like Olivia's comments were basically erasure. But in a recent Teen Vogue interview, Olivia clarified those comments. She shared, quote, "That was really sad for me to see. I really feel like my words were taken so out of context. What I was saying is that it's cool to see girls of Filipino heritage DM me and be like, oh, it's so cool to see someone that looks like me, and that's really empowering." She also attempted to explain her comments to The Guardian back in May, sharing, quote, "It's hard for anyone to grow up in this media where it feels like if you don't have European features and blonde hair and blue eyes, you're not traditionally pretty." Olivia is clearly getting more comfortable and clear when it comes to talking about the topic. She was very direct when she recently told Teen Vogue, quote, "I think representation is all about adding. I don't think it's about taking anything away from anyone." Selena Gomez is another former Disney star and current pop star on our list who has gotten into hot water over recent comments. During the press tour for her Hulu series Only Murders in the Building, Selena shared, quote, "I signed my life away to Disney at a very young age and I didn't know what I was doing." The comment quickly made its rounds on the internet, with many people speculating what exactly Selena meant. But in a recent interview for Radio Times, Selena made it clear that she was totally joking and had zero reluctance when it came to returning to TV. Selena shared, quote, "I was looking for another show to do." And to make it super clear that she enjoyed her Disney past, she shared, quote, "And by the way, I'm beyond proud of the work that I did with Disney as well. It kind of shaped who I am in a way." She went on to talk about her time at the network fondly, saying, quote, "I have to say, I'm very lucky. As a female in my position, I was taken care of, and I've only had lovely experiences, so I'm grateful for that." Personal trainer Jillian Michaels of Biggest Loser fame faced a ton of backlash after some harsh comments she made about Lizzo. During an interview on BuzzFeed's AM to DM, Jillian was asked about celebs like Ashley Graham and Lizzo, who were part of the body positivity movement, and Jillian had some interesting things to say about Lizzo's body in particular.
But why are we celebrating her body? Why does it matter? That's what I'm saying. Like, why aren't we celebrating her music? Because it isn't going to be awesome if she gets diabetes.
Lizzo fans and celebs were not too happy with Jillian's comments. In response to Jillian's comments, Whoopi Goldberg shared on The View that she thought Lizzo was, quote, "fabulous." She went on to share, quote, "I'm thrilled that she's a big-figured woman. I'm thrilled that she is and has no compunction about wearing whatever she wants to wear, and she's comfortable." She added, "So I do celebrate her." So Jillian decided to clarify her Lizzo comments. She told Extra TV, quote, "Lizzo didn't invite this at all, and what I really regret is that this argument became about a person." She continued to clarify her comments and say that they weren't specifically about Lizzo.
I was asked if I celebrate her being overweight, and I should have said, I don't celebrate anyone being overweight, and I don't.
And though Lizzo never responded directly to Jillian, we're guessing, based off her comments in the past, that she's still doing good as hell.
Nothing really breaks my joy. I'm a really solid, grounded person, and I know that I'm shocking because you've never seen in a long time a body like mine doing whatever it wants to do and dressing the way that it dresses and moving the way that it moves.
Kendall Jenner isn't one to hide from controversy, and back in 2018, she had her fellow models in a bit of an uproar over comments she shared in an interview with Love magazine that seemed to be taking a dig at her fellow runway walkers. In the mag, she shared, quote, "Since the beginning, we've been super selective about what shows I would do. I was never one of those girls who would do like 30 shows a season or whatever the those girls do." She went on to say, quote, "More power to him, but I had a million jobs, not only catwalks, but everything else. The whole combination was very overwhelming, and I started to freak out a little bit and needed to take a step back." People were quick to jump on Kendall's comments. Model Daria Strokos shared a snapshot from the magazine to her Instagram stories, adding on top of it, quote, "Whatever the those girls do is do their very best to make their way up and try to make some money so that they can provide for themselves and their families." She added, "Oh, and it's 70 shows a season, by the way, and we're all f***ing proud of every single one of the girls that did it." And model Ginta Lapina shared a similar sentiment to her stories while making a dig at Kendall's privileged upbringing, sharing, quote, "We all are hardworking and worked hard to be where we are. Nothing was given to us." But in her defense, Kendall took to Twitter to explain her comments. She shared, quote, "I was misrepresented in a recent interview over the weekend, and it's important to clarify the meaning." She went on to say, quote, "It was intended to be entirely complimentary, but unfortunately, my words were twisted and taken out of context. I want to be clear, the respect I have for my peers is immeasurable." As the tweets kept coming, she went on to share, quote, "I get to experience firsthand their tireless commitment, their work ethic, the endless days, the lack of sleep, separation from family and friends, stress of traveling, the toll on physical and mental health, yet they still make it all look effortless and beautiful." And finally, she added, quote, "I'm inspired by so many of these people I've had the good fortune to work alongside. There's no way I could ever hate on that. I want everyone to win. Slay always." And one of the funniest clarifications on this list comes by way of Dakota Johnson. During an episode of AD's Open Door series, Dakota gives a tour of her home, including her beautiful kitchen, in which the video happens to be decorated with limes. And according to Dakota, she just loves limes.
I love limes. I love them. They're great. I love them so much, and I like to present them like this in my house.
But nearly a year later, Dakota clarified her lime adoration. During an appearance on The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon asked her about the clip, and she had a hilarious response.
What do you do with all of those limes?
I actually didn't even know that they were in there. I was giving the tour and went into the kitchen, and it was set dressing. I'm allergic to limes.
In Dakota's defense, they did put an abnormal amount of limes in her kitchen, and as she said to Jimmy, quote, "It was hard to just ignore them." For more on your favorite celebrities and interviews, go ahead and click right over here for another Clevver News video, and then let me know in our comments what you think about how these celebrities clarified their comments. For now, guys, I'm your host, Carly Henderson. Come say hi on my Instagram at @CarlyHenderson_, and I'll see you soon.